Hello and welcome to Dropkick the Commute for our reaction to AEW Forbidden Door 2024 Forbidden Door 3. Galeer, how are you on this fine Monday?
Well, I just let out a very visceral scream to sync up the audio. So yeah, I feel a little bit better.
That's good.
It's sun raining right now. You know when it's like raining, but it's
a sun shower.
Yeah, a sun shower. Yeah, it's doing that. I'm good. I'm tired. Stayed up for Forbidden Door. Yeah, you're right. That shit was wide open. Honestly, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. It was like what we thought it would be, but it wasn't. I wouldn't call it a bad show.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad. It was just like, it's Forbidden Door. Like, I don't know. I think it met the expectations that we said.
Of a Forbidden Door pay-per-view.
Of a Forbidden Door pay-per-view, yeah. It was good, but I think the problem with it, which we kind of talked about with Joe on the episode that came out today, is like, there's so many people from CMLL and Stardom. Like, they already cycled through all the big NJPW people. So it's just like, oh, I don't know who this guy is. And that's not on AEW. That's on, like you said, they're catering to the ultra, like, hardcore internet fan, you know?
I will say, I saw Gabe Kidd on the card. I don't know if you know Gabe Kidd, but I've seen him. He's made his rounds on the internet, so I was excited to see him in the pre-show. No, it was solid for what it was.
Yeah.
And again, another big problem we discussed were the builds were kind of clunky.
Right.
But I do think the matches made up for the lack of builds.
Yeah. I would agree.
To a degree.
Yeah.
It's okay if you don't agree, too,
But it's just, like, some of the wacky builds, like the matches were good, but then where did we go for All In, All In is
next?
Just over a month away, and well, almost like 2 months away, I would say.
2 months.
So it's just gonna be weird to see where we go. But we have a lot of matches to get through. I think we'll quickly brush over some of the pre-show. Fucking 5 pre-show matches, man.
Yeah, first I saw it was 3, and then it crept up to, and then all of a sudden the pre-show's like, and it's 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, in my head I was like, do you think they like got there and everything was set up and they're like, let's just start it now.
Yeah, let's just go. Let's throw this in.
We can go on YouTube and we can just start it right now.
That could have been. Our first one, we had Kyle Fletcher versus
Serpentico.
Serpentico.
Resident AEW jobber. He used to team with Luther before Luther became Tony Storm's butler.
Okay, so before my time.
Yeah, before your time, but he's always been, like, I think he probably has the worst win-loss record in AEW if you go look it up. I don't know if he's won a match, if I'm being real with you.
Huh.
He's been kind of gone for a little bit, though, so it was good to see him back. People love Serpentico. I think it's just, like, common knowledge that he's the jobber.
Yeah. It's like if you need a jobber, you bring out Serpentico.
Yeah. Purpose of the match was to put Kyle Fletcher over. I didn't realize he lost the TV title.
Yeah, I guess he lost that in Mexico.
He also he had been on a losing streak, so I think they're trying to continue to build him as a singles guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much you know about Kyle Fletcher, but he's normally
a tag guy
with fucking, what do they call it? Aussie Open. Him and Mark Davis.
Aussie.
Yeah, those guys.
Okay.
So it's just been very interesting to see him be a singles guy, but he's like killer in the ring.
Yeah, he was good. He got he did like a gnarly brain buster to end the match.
Top rope brain buster. Yeah. And then that tombstone he does is nasty too. It was like angled.
Yeah.
Good match though. you know, for a like a
pre-show.
3-minute match.
Yeah, it was very short.
That was our opener.
After that was the 4-way tag match. They did the thing that I hate, man. And I know this is like the normal.
About that.
This is like the normal thing for like these tag matches, but I don't know. It's a stupid rule. It's one of those one wrestling things that like doesn't really make sense. Where like you have the 4 teams, but only 2 people are in the ring, and you can tag anybody. It's just really goofy to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little silly, you know, and it doesn't really even matter either because everyone gets involved anyways.
Right.
But I thought it was a very well-rounded, like teams all around.
Yeah, they had a lot of
you know,
they had a lot of diversity in this match, like with styles and the people that were in it. So
House of Black had to win this one, obviously.
Of course.
I feel like they were the most prominent of all the teams. Kyle O'Reilly and fucking Tomohiro Ishii were a team I didn't know I would love.
Yeah.
It's funny because, like, him in front of Brody King, he's, like, super small, Tomohiro Ishii.
Yeah.
But, like, he's usually painted, like, his nickname's the Stone Pitbull. Like, he's strong. You, like, can't knock him down. But to see, like, he's a big guy, but a short big guy.
Yeah.
Whereas Brody King's just a big guy. And it was cool to see them face off. Him and Kyle O'Reilly made it actually, like, a pretty solid team. And then Roderick Strong and Gabe Kidd, I guess, are, like, a team now. Because they were doing stuff on Dynamite, too, right? They were, like... Yeah, they were. They kept, like, cutting to them. So, yeah. I don't know if he just kind of appeared.
The funny thing on this article, this is not usually a place where I would get my wrestling opinions, but I just pulled it up to pull up the card. On CBS Sports, this match is listed, it has the people listed, and then it says, this was a standard 4-team sprint as all 8 men tried to get their signature moves in as quickly as possible. C+.
That's good.
Oh, that's goofy.
Man. I mean, yeah, and again,
it's true,
it just has to do. It's a pre-show match, you know.
Yeah, dude. The thing that really got me with the pre-show, is like no one's there yet. It's the pre-show. Like there was some people in the crowd, but especially during Mariah and Soraya's match, no reactions to like anything. And it was... Oh,
that sucks because I feel like that's the most important one on the pre-show.
Yeah, but like they were in the ring standing there, like right after the bell rang, the silence in that arena, I was like, oh my God. And I get it's the pre-show, but like I couldn't imagine being them. It must fucking get to their heads, you know?
Yeah, but also, I mean, part of that being in that industry is you have to learn to like work.
Yeah.
It's like not like they've worked a crowd like that before.
Right.
Or it's not like they haven't worked a crowd like that before. So like I don't think it's totally unfamiliar territory. It's just you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you learn as you go.
Exactly.
After that we had Chris Statlander and Momo versus Willow Nightingale and Tam Nakano. Is that how you say that?
I think so.
Nakano. Chris Statlander can destroy me, murder me, throw me off the top rope. Well, I don't know about railing me, but she could destroy me for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's about.
Is that it? That's your note.
No, but it was, I enjoyed that match. I always enjoy watching Chris Statlander in the ring, and I think this feud with her and Willow is like it's a decent feud, you know. They're not getting a ton of time, but when they do, I think it's working. I like it.
Yeah, and they're also having that Owen match.
Yeah, on Dynamite this week. So this was kind of like a little preview of that.
Yeah, I'm sure their match will be good.
Yeah.
You know, they're both. They could dominate me.
Yeah, it's true. I agree. Speaking of dominating, us. Mariah May and Saraya, Owen Hart qualifying match. Mariah wins. Thank the Lord Jesus upon the earth.
Of course.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, this was... I really enjoyed this match. They had a lot of good back and forths. They're both good in the ring. They're, like, obviously, Saraya is Saraya, and she, you know, she's been in it for a really long time, and, they have good chemistry in the ring, so I enjoyed watching it.
I don't think Saraya nearly is given the amount of time she deserves,
right,
to show everybody that she's still got it.
Yeah.
And I remember a month ago or so, she was like, hey, why am I not getting booked? Or like, she was booked and then it got removed, and she was like, what the hell? And then it got put back on the card.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, very, very interesting, because it was huge when she showed up in AEW, and then the more time went on, she just didn't get booked in anything. So it was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, she had that whole, like, you know, she came out at Wembley. She won the fucking Women's World Championship.
Yeah, dude, I forget so often
that she won.
She won the world title in her home country.
Yeah.
Like, and I think she won it off Toni Storm, and then Toni Storm just won it back, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Or it might have been Sheeta who won it, I don't know. But, like, if it was during that time where I was saying that, like, the same 4 women were, like, cycling the title and, like, in the same matches every week. And I think that's why I forget about it so much, because it just felt like they were playing hot potato with this championship that unfortunately didn't mean as much. Well, yeah, you know, it means a lot more now, but unfortunately then, arguably when AEW was a little bit better, that championship didn't mean anything.
Right. Wembley last year felt huge, and I feel like the build up to it was like pretty solid in there, and part of that is because of, you know, the whole MJF Adam Cole thing. I think that's what everyone focused on, but then even the other matches to that pay-per-view, like it just felt bigger. And now it's like, again, we still have almost 2 months to Wembley, so they have time to do a lot. And it could also very well be because I'm watching every week now that I'm noticing more things, you know. I was not watching AEW every week before.
I was not either.
So I was like, oh shit, this is going to be a big show. And then I, like, kept up with some of the stories. So maybe that's why. Maybe I'm getting burnt out of wrestling. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. I mean, it does happen, you know.
This match ended in a roll-up as well, but it was that bridging. It was like that bridge roll-up.
Yeah,
you know?
It's where they, like, it looks real.
Yeah, she, like, flipped over and, like, into a bridge and rolled up Saraya, and Saraya was like, what the fuck?
We knew it was gonna be Mariah.
Yeah.
I feel like she's gonna be, I don't know, I feel like that tournament, I don't know if they're on opposite sides of the same side, Mariah May and Willow Nightingale. Are they on opposite sides?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the card.
I was gonna say, because if they are, they would be my picks to be in the finals of that.
Yeah, that would go hard.
Willow Nightingale is like, you know, she's made a case for herself to, you know, she's won a championship. She's like a prominent character, and she's a good wrestler. So is Mariah May, and obviously, I think Mariah May would win just for the sake of story.
Yeah, Tony and Mariah at Wembley would go hard.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Just not in the way that we originally thought it was going to happen, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Then after that, we had our final pre-show match. I'm going to butcher all of these names. We had the Lucha Brothers versus... That one's easy.
Oh, I totally did not even watch this one.
Yeah, it was the Lucha Bros versus Los Ingobernables
de Japón.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I even really watched this.
This was a bathroom break match. I love the Lucha Brothers, but this was a bathroom break match.
Yeah.
This is a bathroom break, grab a snack.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's what happened. Sadly,
Sorry,
I have
sorry,
nothing
Lucha
to say
Bros.
about this one. Sorry, Lucha Bros. We love you, but I don't know. Pre-show match, man.
But that's what I heard someone talking about this on another podcast, and it was something to the effect of like, why do you even have a pre-show? Maybe it was us. I don't know if we talked about, I can't remember who, but it was like, why not just have that be the beginning of the card? You know?
Right.
Why does there have to be, like, obviously I know the whole point of the pre-show is like to grab people's attention and like it's free content.
Yeah.
But in the same vein, it's almost kind of like disrespectful to the talent in a way.
It is.
Obviously you're going to try to, you know, get whatever position you can on the card. But I feel as if, I don't know, if we were watching it and that was just the card and not like a pre-show card, I feel like I'd be more compelled to like pay attention.
I think
like I feel like
part of
yeah, what?
Part of it boils down to what Joe said when we were talking about Forbidden Door was you have too many people and every match on the card needs to be a big match. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you have, on the card, you have MJF, you have the Elite and the Acclaimed, you have Bryan Danielson, you have Tony Storm, you have Orange Cassidy, you have the Learning Tree, you have Samoa Joe, Hook, you have
Right.
the TNT ladder match, you have, like, and then you fit in the Lucha Bros into a tag match. It, like, doesn't fit, but the problem is it's not their fault, and there's so many fucking people that you need to, I feel like Tony Khan feels like he needs to have those bigger names up there on that card, and then it comes to a detriment of, like, the Lucha Bros can fuck. Like, they're good, but arguably they're not as high as all the other stars that he wants to have the matches for, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, I think, too, just, like, the word pre-show or, like, kickoff show, like, has, like, a stigma to it.
Yeah, I agree.
Of, like, I don't know. Like, no one's necessarily going to care about...
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's just the pre-show. Like,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
by the name of it.
Yeah, so...
But alternatively...
sorry, Lucha Bros.
Alternatively, it would be you have a, 6-hour long pay-per-view? Instead of...
yeah.
So... You know.
Which is like what WrestleManias used to be, like 6-7 hours.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah. It is what it is, and I'm going to bring stuff inside.
Okay. Then starting off the main card, we had MJF versus Hechicero?
Hechicero?
I should have known that. Hechicero.
No, it's okay.
I
liked it. Okay?
I thought it was...
I liked it, but it didn't feel...
It didn't hit.
Special.
Yeah, right. His entrance seemed special. Crowd goes nuts for MJF.
I liked his entrance.
First guy to come out.
Hometown entrance.
Yeah, good way to start the show. Hometown entrance, and then the match. I was like, this was the same as his Dynamite match without the electrical
It really
cable.
was.
And
it really was.
That's not... He did the same stuff that he does in most of his matches, and that's not on him. I think it's just they're putting him against Hechicero.
The guy that nobody really knows.
And it doesn't feel special, like we talked about.
I gotta say, though, for a match that didn't feel special, I mean, could just be us, but, like, that crowd was loving it.
Yeah, again, hometown crowd, though. And, like...
It's true.
And the thing is, like... It's MJF. He's a star. He is still a star. He's just being booked weirdly right now.
Yeah,
and again, it's a second match back.
I'm not really perceiving him the way I used to, though.
Right.
It's just like, oh, there's MJF.
But I wonder,
I don't know.
again, we have 2 months to All In, so I'm wondering if they, because he seems to be like all that shit that happened on Dynamite, right? Where he was like, Daniel Garcia, I'm gonna have a match against you, and then Will Ospreay comes out and he's like, hey bruv, you have a title match next week against me, and MJF was all pissed off. So I'm wondering if he's gonna try and like, he's gonna keep coming out like doing these things, try to do these things for people, because really when you think about it, that was the same as his Roosh match, right? He was like, Roosh, I see you're pretty good, I'll face you. And then, you know, Hechicero came out of nowhere. And then this, like, Will Ospreay, like, you know, made his Wembley match not feel special now. And it's like,
yeah.
I wonder if he's just gonna be like, I'm sick of getting fucked over. I'm back to the normal MJF. You know what I mean?
Pushing towards being a heel, maybe. I don't know. That's like, to get mad about that, though, like, I understand, like, okay, never mind, like, fuck you, you don't want to have a match with me. I don't know, it doesn't feel MJF to me.
Yeah,
I think he's just in a weird, like, limbo spot right now. I think that he just needs to be put in a feud with somebody, you know, like, make it matter. Okay, so I think you're right in terms of like him going back to heel. Honestly, that would be the best thing for him right now, just because him as a babyface only happened because people loved the Adam Cole stuff so much. Right. Otherwise, he was coming out interrupting random ass people, shitting on them, and just like, you know, staking his claim as like the worst human being in the company. He can't really do that as a, like, he can do it to a degree because everyone knows, because it's MJF, he's a scumbag, but he can't do it the same way he could as a heel. Or he could, but it just wouldn't, it's not gonna hit the same,
right, as like,
you know, with people cheering for him. So like, to a degree, like, the baby face thing works, but not, like, I don't know. I think it's run its course, honestly, and I think it really only, like, worked with this Adam Cole story. Maybe it just boils down to, like, he can't work babyface as good as he can work heel. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm not gonna say that yet, just because, again, he just came back at Double or Nothing, and he's only had 2 matches, and I think I will make a judgment call on that depending on what they do before All In. Because I don't think there's enough there yet to determine.
I wonder where Adam Cole is. Dude, he did a nod to Adam Cole. He did the Panama Sunrise in that match. And then he, like, finished the match with the Brainbuster. Yeah. Which also is a cool thing that, like, that's his new finisher.
Yeah, I like that.
But he did the Panama Sunrise, and I don't know. Maybe it's like we're dropping subtle hints. Maybe it's nothing. But have him do a rematch at All In. I don't see the Daniel Garcia thing playing out. I feel like that. I don't know what that is, but I don't really want it.
Yeah, I don't think.
I'd rather see Garcia win a championship at All In, unless that championship somehow got to MJF and he won it off MJF. But I don't think you want to do that to MJF either. Right. And that, you know, again, it just ties back into everything we've been talking about for weeks. Yeah. So
we'll see what happens.
Just like everything.
For real. Then we had the Elite versus the Acclaimed and Hiroshi Tanahashi. I don't know if you caught this, but the Elite had like a little vignette beforehand.
Dude,
and
it was like a political campaign.
Yeah, it was like a political campaign where they were like, oh, we've started Forbidden Door to do all these great things, and in it they blurred out Kenny Omega.
It was so good.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, and I don't usually love a lot of the stuff that the Elite is doing nowadays. So, well, barring the Okada stuff's been funny.
Yeah.
But like the Bucks themselves, I don't know. This is pretty good, and like the Bucks and the Acclaimed are like they've hit the ring in the past. Yeah. So I was invested in this one. I texted you about it, and you were like, I think it's like a trios match, but for the World Tag Team titles.
Yeah, I got confused because they just had the Eliminator match, and the Acclaimed won the Eliminator match for the tag titles, and then they announced this match for here, so I was like, wait, is this for the tag titles? What, a trios match? And I was like, how does that work? But
no, I guess, I don't know. Maybe that's on Beach Break, or I don't know when.
Yeah, Beach Break, or I don't know. Who knows?
All I know is that Max Caster cooked the fucking Elite on the mic,
yeah,
dude.
He did.
That was probably one of his best raps.
Out of breath, like Biden at the podium.
Yeah. And then just that string of, like, bitches
at
the end.
What did you say? He rhymed bitch with bitch like 4 times.
He rhymed bitch with bitch like 4 or 5 times.
Oh my god.
It was incredible. And then it's also, I think it just felt great because they've been getting cut off every time they've had their entrance in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
They've been getting cut off. And then even before that, I know we had a break from it, but like, remember when Max Caster kept like fucking up his raps?
Yeah.
And people were like, is it real or is it fake? I was almost kind of worried that they were like transitioning out of rapping, but that just the story made me believe that.
Yeah, so. I remember you mentioning that, and then actually on Collision, when they came out, they just didn't rap, but their music played, so I was like, oh, maybe he's right.
Yeah.
But then, this happened.
Yeah, I think it just had to do with they probably weren't even going to try because they were just going to get cut off.
Right.
So, really good match though. I was really happy that it ended with Tanahashi and Okada.
Yeah.
2 long-time New Japan rivals, and I think it had to end with Okada pinning Tanahashi, just because you're protecting the Acclaimed, you're protecting the Bucks, and it just kind of finished. The match finished in its own little like sub-story,
right,
in a way. So it didn't like cast any like doubt on whether or not who's gonna win the tag team championship match whenever that happens.
Yeah, this was a very fun match. Obviously, we got a lot of Reebok pump super kicks. Lots of those. I expect nothing less. But I really enjoy the Acclaimed, and like Billy Gunn came out at the end to like help him out and pick him up and all that, and it was a good match overall. I'm just interested to see where they, like I said, they won that Eliminator match, so the hell are they gonna do there next?
Yeah.
Then we had our next match of the Owen Hart Cup tournament on the men's side. So we had Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi, and this was brutal. It was a very technical, just brutal.
They kicked
match.
The shit out of each other.
Yeah, Danielson got the shit kicked out of him for like the first 20 minutes of the match.
Yeah, I think it like low-key turned me off to it, but it's one of those things where it made the ending feel nice.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of like, this is his whole like farewell tour for the year.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. I hate like seeing him just get fucking destroyed and like he's in pain
Yeah.
and like he's probably overselling it too, but
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, this just like, it's like heart-wrenching in a way.
Yeah, it's like,
'Cause
come
you're
on,
just
man,
like-
he's gotta win. Like, he's
Yeah,
gotta
and
have
then
a good final run here.
I don't know where it stops. It also, I haven't really focused a ton on the men's bracket yet,
Yeah.
but I think Danielson could be a candidate to win the bracket and have that world title match, because otherwise, where does this farewell tour end?
Yeah. Yeah, I would hope so.
I'm failing to remember once again who's in the tournament, because I haven't been paying attention to it a ton. But I know he's gonna face Pac. He's probably gonna win.
Yep.
I still think I don't think I said this on the air, but I think Nigel McGuinness should be the wild card. and I think they should meet in the finals.
Well, you said not specifically for the tournament, but you did mention a while ago, like, Nigel you want Nigel and Danielson, yeah.
For that last match,
Yeah.
I think it would go hard, but I don't know if Nigel would. Yeah. All I'm saying is, there's like being a heel on commentary, and then there's like fucking driving it into the ground, and that's what Nigel's doing whenever Bryan Danielson's on the screen.
Yeah.
He has not stopped since probably like earlier this year.
Bro, he does it in matches that Danielson's not even in. He's like,
yeah, dude, he buries him.
There was a match later on where he's like, he mentioned something, and then he's like, "Oh, unlike Danielson," and they're like, "Okay."
Yeah. So I can only assume that they're like trying to plant seeds, and if they're not, they should start thinking about it, because AEW is the place where people that should retire wrestle, or people that have been retired come out of retirement. Have them do one match with Danielson. No title has to be on the line.
Just a good old final match.
And, like, I don't know if that final match happens at All In. I don't know if it happens later. But, like, I don't know. Have Nigel fuck over, like, Danielson's chance at winning the tournament or the title. It would be really fun to see. Yeah, why not? It's, like, something that people did... You know, it's a dream match that people... Well, it's happened in the past, but people didn't think they'd ever get again. So, I really would think it's stupid. Like, there's no way they're not planning something involving Nigel with the way he's... Because, like, I don't know. Taz used to be a heel commentator. Yeah. But, like, he was just a heel for the most part. He wasn't, like, promoting anything, really. He was just, like, they always got to have a babyface and a heel commentator, almost always. Yeah. Nigel is playing that role and then some, and he's doubling down on just bullying. What was it, Brittle Brian? Yeah, Brittle Brian. Brittle Brian. That's my take. If it doesn't happen, I might be the craziest person on earth, but I don't know. Now when I go home, I'm gonna go on the internet and see if anyone else shares the same opinion as me for validation. Hell yeah. Well, I hope they do, because it would go hard. After that, we had probably the match I was most excited for, Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa. And this shit was good, dude. Fucking Toni Storm came out as the Statue of Liberty. She looks so good. It was great. They did a cool bit too, where she like held up the torch, and then the lights went out, and she was holding the title, which I thought was a good little touch there. I love everything she's doing. Yeah, me too. I don't want it to stop. Mariah May had fucking no idea which side to be on. She was concerned the entire time. They did a whole bit at the beginning where she was like giving them flowers, and then they were like, "Oh, which corner is she gonna go in?" And then she got overwhelmed and just didn't go to a corner and just sat ringside in a chair. This was a really good match. Yeah. I didn't realize how good of a wrestler Mina really was. Yeah. We've seen a little bit, as we kind of have with all these, all the foreign talent. She held her own. There were points where I think the crowd thought she was gonna win. Like, And then I think out of nowhere, Toni Storm just fucking cracked her with a headbutt and then hit her with the Storm Zero. And I'm starting to realize that the Storm Zero is like a lot more deadly than just a normal pile driver, because she doesn't even like fully like sit out.
Yeah.
It's just like she just kind of gets her in a position as quick as possible and just drops her.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah. And it's so funny too, just like thinking about Toni's character, because like she's this very dramatic character, and like, oh, but also I'm a wrestler and I'm the women's champion of this wrestling place.
Yeah.
And she can fucking throw down. Like, that's crazy.
It like doesn't match the character almost, but like I don't know, it's great. That's still one of the things with wrestling in general, is like you have a lot of characters sometimes that are just kind of there that doesn't match at all, where they're just really good characters, but then it's like, oh yeah, also they wrestle.
Well, it's like you think about like Bray Wyatt, like he's a fucking backwoods cult leader, and also he wrestles.
Yeah. Like the Undertaker and the Wyatt Six and the family in NXT. Like you have a mob boss and a mob family.
It's so, wrestling is so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so goofy.
But tell me why it works, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know,
man.
Why does it work?
Yeah, I really like the match though. They did this really cool like figure 4 leg lock bit where it went on for a long time. And they kept like reversing it, and she would like roll over and reverse the pressure, and then they would roll over, and it was like there was a lot of like back and forth, and I think that's kind of what made the match. You didn't really know which way it was gonna go.
Toni Storm till I die, brother. Like, she's the best AEW. I'd say she's the best AEW women's champion, or she's at least top 3.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And then at the end we had one big happy family.
That's true.
They're both laying in the ring, and Toni gets up and she like picks up Mina Shirakawa. She pushes Toni away, and she's like, "Get away from me!" But then they're like, "No, wait." She puts out her hand. Toni shakes her hand, and then Mariah's like, "Okay, what if you guys hug? You could hug." And then they hug, and then she's like, "Wait." And then she like goes for a kiss in the middle of them, and then they're all looking, and then they have a little 3-way smooch.
It was magical. Anna and I were watching it, and she was like, why are they trying to kiss? And I was like, because they love each other.
And
because they're besties.
When this happened, Nigel was bawling his eyes out. It cut to him. He was standing up, clapping and crying, man. It was beautiful.
Oh. Yeah, he was, he's invested just like all of us, you know?
How could you not be?
Yeah. I love this story. I wonder if Mina's gonna stick around, you know?
Yeah.
We'll find out. I'm gonna run inside real quick. You
fucking piece of shit.
Fucking
you
cunt bitch.
Dumb idiot, stupid head. After that, we had Orange Cassidy and Zack Sabre Jr. I know you were particularly excited for this one, so let's go. Give it a go.
Oh my god, this had to be... I thought it was going to be my favorite match of the night, but I think honestly Swerve and Ospreay topped it. This was my second favorite match of the night.
Okay.
Just because the appeal to it is the different styles that they have.
Right.
And, Cassidy's got that lazy, it's more of a gimmicky style, and Zack Sabre Jr. is just a fucking technical wrestler.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this while I was watching it, I just love how much AEW, they care more, to a degree, about technical wrestling and mat wrestling.
Yeah.
He's really fucking good.
Yeah.
And strong. Just alone, that fucking pin he does where he, crosses his arms and like sits on his head upside down. So good, man. Him and Orange Cassidy honestly kind of proved that he's a good technical wrestler too.
Yeah, he did.
And I think that's why I liked it so much. Like, so many people are like, Orange Cassidy's a disgrace.
He's
to
a
fucking
disgrace to wrestling.
Like, shut your goddamn fucking mouth, dude. Like, he is so good at what he does. He's good at being a gimmick wrestler, but he's also just good at being a wrestler in the ring.
Yeah.
Like, initially, like very early on, I remember the match that really put him on the map. It was him versus Pac, Revolution 2020, and people started noticing. But his style was different then because he was doing more of the stuff with the pockets and the no hands and that kind of thing. Now, like, he's still doing that stuff, but he's showing more of what he can do.
Yeah, he's a very, very good just wrestler. Like, he can pull off a lot of good shit and not just the gimmicky shit, you know?
Exactly. And I think that's what makes Orange Cassidy really special. And dude, Zack Sabre Jr. even put him over at the press conference after.
Yeah, he did.
And he was like, you know, I see y'all talking about this match like Orange Cassidy couldn't hang. He could fucking hang. There were moments where he almost had Zack Sabre Jr. He even did one of those pins that AEW, you know, that we love from AEW, and Zack Sabre Jr. reversed it into a submission, and that's what ended the match. Yeah. So I think that's really cool. He took something of Orange Cassidy's that usually will win him the match, and he used that to his advantage to win the match for himself.
Yeah.
It was so good, man. Like, I didn't nearly pay attention as much as I should have to his match with Danielson at Wrestle Dream, because that was a big attraction too. So honestly, after seeing this, I might just fucking go back and watch it tonight. Just cause.
Yeah, it was, you know, it proved that they're both, it elevated both of them, I think.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's not even like they need elevating, you know?
Right. It just brought
like
them
the
up
people
a
who
bit
were
more.
excited for this match, I think they got what they want.
Right.
And the people that weren't excited for this match, I hope they learned something.
Yeah.
You know?
The Learning Tree and Jeff Cobb versus Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata. Oh, this is another good match. We had Please Retire chants, and Jericho took the mic and he goes, I know what, you guys don't want me to retire. I'm a hometown hero. And apparently, Nigel started to talk, or maybe it was Excalibur. Excalibur started to say, he's like, you know, technically he's not wrong. He grew up here when he was a kid because his dad worked here and he lived in New York for a little bit. So, he's like, yeah, I'm a hometown hero, guys. You don't want me to retire. You love me, and all this stuff. It was a good match. I mean, pretty much. We had a very similar match on Dynamite the other day.
Yeah.
And, you know.
It was low-key like the rematch.
And I will say, I'm confused about what you said the other day. Like, with the fucking, you know, he played the video package, and he's like, oh, I didn't watch this yet.
Yeah, with Suzuki.
Yeah, so when is that happening?
Again, there was that, and there was also the Jeff Cobb thing, because Jeff Cobb was supposed to hold an open challenge.
Right.
For a different championship.
Yeah.
So what happened? And was there any explanation, or did we just fucking like pretend like nobody saw it?
Are they just retconning those? Like,
I would love to see Minoru Suzuki versus Chris Jericho.
Yeah. Unless it's supposed to happen at Beach Break. But like, I don't know.
No, it's going to be a 2-month build to Wembley.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man, I don't know.
The only thing you need to take away from this match is Hook won with Chris Jericho's finisher.
Yeah, which was really good.
Yeah,
and Taz lost his shit on commentary.
Oh yeah, dude, they put the camera on Taz. I loved it.
Yeah, he's
proud
yes!
dad moment.
Woo! You know,
yeah,
so that was good.
I love when Taz shows affection.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Like, you know, Hook did that, kind of stick it to Jericho, and I think Hook's gonna end up with the FTW title again at some point.
I just feel like it's like tethered to him, you know?
It is. It's you know, because of its history, but also just because it fits him, you know?
Yeah, it really does.
It's like his title at this point.
But also, I won't lie and say that, like Jericho, even if it is fucking ridiculous, like, it's good what he's doing with it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely good. The For the World Championship.
I don't know if elevate is the term I'd use, because I don't think it needs to be elevated. I think it's in a good spot, you know?
Right. Certainly bringing some eyes to it.
Yeah.
Just like this match which had a lot of eyes, 12 in fact. You like it? You like that one? 12 eyes?
What? I don't.
Because there's 6 people.
Oh, because there's 6 people.
Yeah, for the AEW TNT Championship ladder match.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the last one, because there was also 6 people in that one.
Oh, yeah, I guess that didn't. Yeah. Okay, you know what? TNT ladder match.
It's true.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. We had some really, really fun spots here. Fucking the titty twister to Jack Perry on the top of the ladder.
Yeah.
Briscoe scared me because he pulled an edge and landed on his feet, and even Nigel mentioned it.
Briscoe did not need to be in this match.
Yeah. I don't know.
He's the Ring of Honor World Champion. I feel like if your World Champion is going for, like, obviously in the grand scheme of things, Ring of Honor is lower than AEW at this point, but like, from a title standpoint, if a world champion period is going for a lower championship on the card, doesn't that, I don't know, to me that's
it's kind of
like,
weird.
The Ring of Honor title doesn't matter. It kind of already didn't matter, sadly.
Yeah.
To me, at least. But
yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little weird.
Strange.
Not that he wasn't, you know, he was good in the match, and all the people in
he
it.
was great.
Like,
I love Mark Briscoe.
Yeah, all the people in the match, like it was decent, but yeah, it was just a little weird that he would be going for it, you know.
But regardless, he was doing some high spots.
Yeah, the high spot I was going to talk about with him was set up a chair on the inside of the ring, and then he put a ladder on top of, who was it on the outside?
Takeshita?
Was it Takeshita? It might have been.
The table ladder sandwich?
Yeah. So Takeshita was in a table ladder sandwich, and Mark Briscoe put up the chair, and then he did like a fucking senton through the ladder, through the table. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was wild. A lot of ladders got broken, dude.
Yeah, well,
Leo Rush.
I thought it was interesting because they used like the thin ladders. So they had like the big black ladders, and then they had like these really flimsy thin ladders too.
Oh my god, I don't want to forget this too. At the beginning, 4 dudes like left the ring to go grab ladders, and then they all brought them back into the ring, and they just threw them at each other.
That was goofy.
Like that would do something.
It was goofy, but it was funny. It was one of those, you know, silly wrestling spots.
Leo Rush went through 2 ladders, I think, which is crazy.
Yep.
He's such a small guy. Takeshita had an insane Blue Thunder bomb through 2 tables to El Phantasmo. That was so wild.
The tables
it was probably the most vicious
exploded.
tables. They exploded. It was the most vicious table spot I've seen.
Yeah.
In a while.
Yeah.
So, but ultimately, we had our prediction come true. We kind of already knew the direction it was going, but Jack Perry getting the win, scaling the ladder. He even took his time up there and grabbed it. And he was the the winner and new TNT champion, which is crazy. This is first singles. No, it's not. FTW championship, but this is, a pretty important singles title win.
Yeah.
For him.
Yeah,
So,
especially for the story with the Elite and everything too. Like,
very cool. I think they should have just given it right to him. I think, again, our thoughts on that. I think that just would have been so much funnier.
Yeah, that would have been.
But regardless, he won it anyways. So that just speaks to, the willingness to give him the belt.
Yeah. After this, we had the title for title TBS Championship, NJPW Strong Women's, Mercedes Moné and Stephanie Vecker. Stephanie Vecker is incredible, man. She had a match on, what was it, Collision, I think.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like whoa, but in this match, like, she did some crazy stuff, and I think the crowd thought so as well, because Mercedes won and the crowd started booing.
Yeah, I mean, I looked back on it though, and apparently too, like, they were like saying like "fuck you Celtics" or something like that, which you got to remember too, it's a New York crowd and she's from Boston.
That's true.
And
that's true.
I don't think that'll change a whole lot, but it did sound like it just spoke to how much of a case Stephanie made for herself. Yeah. I was thinking during that, like, oh my god, she might actually win. She could win this. I'd say if she was featured more prominently, I'd be convinced that she was winning that match. But I want to see more of her after that.
Yeah, I do. I do as well. We had some wacky, I don't know if you saw some of the weird Twitter hate that came out a little bit beforehand, where apparently Mercedes was like, yeah, I have creative control. So everyone's like, oh, here we go. It's Hulk Hogan.
Oh, like she's booking herself, kind of thing?
Like booking herself to win 2 titles. I don't think that's really the case, but
I don't necessarily believe it, but I won't put it past Tony Khan to like give her the pencil.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but also it's not like this title made sense for the story. Like, this was a title she was, theoretically supposed to win, and then she got injured.
So I think it makes sense, but like, I don't know. Also, like, does she have creative control? Like, what was the tweet?
She said apparently in an interview that she has creative control.
Oh, well, regardless, that is something we don't necessarily know the answer.
Yeah.
The cut and dry answer to.
Right.
But again, I wouldn't be surprised if Tony Khan's blurring the line between like business and friendship.
Right.
But this made sense for the story.
It did.
One thing I will say about Mercedes is I love her as a wrestler. I cannot stand her as a promo.
No, me neither.
I think, like, I don't know how much, if you watch the press conference at all, but like, I feel like when you're doing the press conference, you're a little bit out of character, and you're like, this is what this means for
no, she was in character the whole time.
She was like in character, and it just felt like cringe, It was an unscripted kind of promo where I don't think she really knew what she was saying.
Yeah.
And it just felt very like repetitive, I guess is the word I'll use.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't mind it when it's on TV, but in this setting, it felt like very just strange.
Yeah.
And that's how she's been in all the press conferences since, too.
Right.
But I'm not going to let that, that didn't ruin the match for me.
No,
the
not
match
at
was
all.
Great. They were both great. And she's won 2 championships in 2 months.
Yeah, right. So we'll see what happens with Mercedes. But what did we get after the match? It was very big.
What did we get? Oh my god, I forgot. Dude, I didn't even hear. My volume was low, so I didn't hear the music hit right away.
Yeah.
So I didn't until I saw the Tron, and I was like, oh shit, we got the Doctor. We'll see you now.
Yep.
She's back after 2 fucking years.
Did you see?
Where was she?
Did you see she is the role model, Britt Baker?
Yeah,
It's
that's like,
Tron.
yeah, that's an old Britt Baker nickname, actually.
Oh, is it?
And funny enough, it was happening when Bayley first started her heel gimmick and was doing the role model thing.
Oh shit.
But hers was like, I don't know if they spelt it the same. Was it ROLL? Or was it ROLE?
ROLE.
Because she used to be the role model because she was on a wheelchair for a little bit.
Oh,
But she
really?
like got injured, like she hurt her leg. Yeah.
Huh.
So that's interesting. But yeah, she's back. Especially like after tweeting her frustrations about not getting booked.
Yeah.
After being women's world champion, you know, I was going to put her right below Toni Storm in Best World Champions. I'd say it's Toni Storm, Britt Baker, Hikaru Shida. But yeah, she's back and she got the works. She got the whole treatment, the pyro, everything.
Yeah,
And
it's really hype.
she just flipped everybody off, too. It was great.
Yeah.
I really think the crowd was excited to have her back. I think I'm excited. We're all excited to have Britt Baker back and, you know, start seeing her on TV again. Because if we want to talk about a good promo, she's a good promo.
Yeah, she is great. Even from, like, when I first started watching AEW, I was like, damn, dude, like, she's pretty badass. And, you know, I think since I've started watching AEW, I'm like, oh, I haven't seen Britt Baker very much. And it's true, you know? Like, she wasn't really booked, but she's great, man. IWGP match, do you have thoughts?
It was good.
Yeah. I'm pretty much...
It was good. Naito is crazy. Jon Moxley lost the championship.
Yeah, he lost. He was very frustrated. He brought out a chair and he's like, "This son of a bitch!" And the ref like took it away and held it like a baby. The chair. Yeah, I loved that.
You got to give it to the Japanese ref and the Japanese ring announcer dude. He was killer.
Yeah, they were great. I think it's something about the Japanese style. It's like, you know, they take it like very seriously, but then they also like have the over the top funny moments. And This was one of them. Like, he took the chair and was like, he held it for like minutes. He like hugged it, and I was like, oh, you're not hitting him. Like, I don't think so.
Right. Yeah. No, it was a good match. I think Naito was the former champion, if I'm not mistaken. So I could be wrong, but I think the whole idea was that he like won it back from Mox.
Yeah.
So it was cool to like have a New Japan guy win that championship on AEW's. Obviously, it's like a partnership, but like it's AEW's pay-per-view. You know what I mean?
Right.
So no, it was a good match. I will admit I didn't pay attention to it really a whole lot. I was kind of like half watching it.
Yeah. I was doing the same. I was playing Assassin's Creed.
I was really just gearing up for the main event.
Will Ospreay, he's the biggest star of AEW right now.
Dude, he got the champion's entrance. Let's be honest.
Entrance was insane. The crowd was insane. And I was telling Galeer this like the other day when we were talking. That's like his entrance for like a normal episode of Dynamite. The crowd is that loud when they go, Ospreay, Ospreay, you know, like, he is the star right now. He is the biggest name in AEW, I would say. At least he's the most over right now. Like, household names, no MJF, but right now in the company, Ospreay is the biggest fucking star they have.
Booking this match this early was not the right move.
Yeah.
But it was not the right move from the perspective of you can see how much bigger he is than Swerve.
Right.
It was the right move in the sense that you put Swerve over, and now we're going to see what happens next, you know?
Yeah.
But knowing how much more over Will Ospreay is with the fans, how much more special does that make Swerve feel? You know, I don't think a whole lot, but
yeah.
I think, like, obviously, like, they made that clear choice that Swerve is their guy right now, so that's good. You know, that they trust him to continue. It's just a matter of can you make him feel as big as Ospreay?
Swerve?
Can you, like, bring
I don't
back,
think so.
Can you bring back the way people responded to Swerve back in, like, February, March?
Yeah.
Like, that's what we need, because that's what would make him feel as big as Ospreay.
Yeah.
And this dates back to like, again, I say it every time, but like, he should have won that triple threat, or he should have won the world title a little bit earlier. And in the same vein, I don't think Will Ospreay needed to win the international championship.
I agree.
And I think some things deteriorated because of that too, i.e. Roderick Strong in the Kingdom. So, I think there was a lot of choices that were made that unfortunately kind of affected a bunch of different things, and now it's their job to see what they can pull out of that and see if they can build Swerve back up to where I think they would like him to be.
Right. Yeah, because the fact that their international champion feels bigger than their world champion, like...
That's not a good thing.
Right. It's not.
The world champion's supposed to be the face of your company, essentially.
Right. And
right now, as far as I'm concerned, Will Ospreay is the face of the company. Swerve's just the world champion.
I agree. And it's almost like, as big as Ospreay is, it's almost diminishing the international title a little bit, because it's like Ospreay is big because he's Ospreay, and the international championship just kind of feels there. Like, it just feels like, oh, it's this thing he has that he won randomly. And again, that's on the booking. It's not, he's not like doing anything to lower it at all. It's just like,
but in the same vein, I think, well, yeah, I don't know. I think if there was anyone to hand him his first loss, it would have to be Swerve.
Right.
Like, not Roderick Strong.
Right.
And they didn't do that. But in the same vein, like, don't put him in that match then.
Right. He should not have won that Casino Royale. I don't think. Like,
The international
Casino Royale.
He shouldn't have won the international title,
it's
bro.
like, because if you do that, like, make him lose a Casino Royale, it's not really like a loss. It's just,
yeah,
he
exactly.
was in the Royale,
it doesn't count on your record if you lose in a fucking battle royal.
Right. So it's like, he should have lost that and then challenge Swerve.
And then he's fine.
Have a long build to All In and then have him win at Wembley. Like,
so
that
then
makes more sense.
I wonder if they're gonna like have them rematch.
I'm sure they will.
Because like people are still thinking that it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think then he should win, but I also think because we just had this match now, knowing everything is just like makes it worse.
Yeah, if they do have that rematch, like just Swerve and Will, then I think they need to figure out how to make it feel special, or this is where you insert MJF and you have like a triple threat with Swerve, Will Ospreay, and MJF.
Yeah.
And then you have Will Ospreay go over. Will Ospreay becomes an even bigger star because he fucking beats Swerve and MJF, and then have a feud with MJF or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that would go hard.
Oh, man. Have Kenny Omega come back and have them run it back again.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Dude,
that's another match I never saw was their Forbidden Door match.
Yeah.
But I heard it was like a fucking, like, again, not that Dave Meltzer stars hold any weight, but it was a 6-star match. So you gotta imagine it's pretty damn good.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff, you know, they just gotta figure out some stuff right now. And they have 2 months to do it for their biggest show. So,
which I think is plenty of time. Now, there's like a little more time between the pay-per-views. So
yeah, it's good we don't it's good we don't have a pay-per-view in between this. It's
and speaking of pay-per-views, we got an announcement for January.
Yes, sir.
What was it called? Wrestling Dynasty or something? Wrestle Dynasty?
Isn't it? Yeah, Wrestle Dynasty.
It's like not AEW branded Dynasty. I don't think it's like a New Japan thing. And AEW and Ring of Honor are like part of it.
Yeah, so it's officially it's Wrestle Dynasty at the Tokyo Dome, and it's CMLL, AEW, New Japan, Ring of Honor, and Stardom. So it's
That's
essentially
gonna go
Forbidden
so
Door,
crazy.
but at the
Tokyo Dome.
Tokyo Dome. So it's gonna be fire.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I'm excited for that. And I wonder if they're still gonna do like AEW Dynasty next year, like the regular. They're from April. Should be interesting though. It's gonna be really fucking good.
Yeah.
I look forward. See, the thing is, like AEW, things look bleak from time to time, but they're still growing and they're still like doing more and more, like adding more pay-per-views to the calendar. I personally am a fan of the when they were doing 4 big shows a year, but I'm I won't complain if there's extra pay-per-views because that just gives more room for bigger matches.
Yeah, and it gives more room for the talent too.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's that, and then hopefully I would like to see some kind of streaming deal happen soon because that's what people are always talking about, and they're continuing to grow, and they're always trying to. It seems like they're always trying to do see what the next big thing they can do is, which is a good sign that they haven't stopped doing that.
Yeah.
But this was, I'd say, more solid than I think we initially gave it credit for.
Yeah, I agree. They had in this match, obviously, again, Swerve retained. He won, and they had a lot of really high action, high velocity spots.
It was insane.
And the thing that I thought was crazy was that spot before the Styles Clash. So much back and forth, and then all of a sudden Ospreay catches him and puts him in the Styles Clash and just boom out of nowhere. It was crazy.
Yeah. There was that. There was I think it was an attempt at an Os cutter that got reversed into a swerve stomp.
Yeah.
That was cool. Even it didn't fully look like it landed, but it still looked cool.
Yeah.
There fucking Swerve hitting the hidden blade on Ospreay was so hype. It was so fast paced, and I forget Swerve can move fast like that. He can hang.
Yeah, he can
Will
go.
Ospreay, and Will Ospreay's fucking fast.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, some more drama happened in this, but again, overall it was just
Don Callis.
Yeah, Don Callis with the screwdriver.
He's not in the Don Callis family. Come on.
No, he's not. He said he didn't want their help. I don't want your help, bruv. Of course.
So it's probably gonna. I feel like it might blow up in his championship match with Garcia this week. That's what
probably.
I think might happen.
Which we can talk about that. That was a little strange. They just cut to Daniel Garcia sitting in the stands at the most random time.
Yeah, it was in the middle of a big move too, and then I understood it as he's gonna challenge him this week and for the international title, but I was wait, I feel like it would make more sense if this was an international title match.
Yeah.
And then they showed MJF looking on too. And I like to think he's just looking at a hard cam of Daniel Garcia. He's just staring at Daniel Garcia. He's this fucking son of a bitch. Pay attention to me.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. But I think to wrap things up here, Forbidden Door, the door is now closed. You
can't open it.
It's closed forever and locked, in fact. No, it's Forbidden Doors wrapped up, and I think it pretty much is exactly what we expected, with some good points. But
what's your star rating?
My Meltzer star rating. Well, wait. If I was Dave Meltzer, this would get 7 stars because NJPW.
Correct.
But
what's Mufussy's rating?
The Mufussy rating out of 5 is probably a 3. I would say.
Yeah.
It was.
I'd give it a 3 as well.
It was all right. It was Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Enjoyable wrestling.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
Didn't knock my
We
socks
got
off.
something out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So, I think that is that, Mr. Galeer.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a Ko-Fi. If you guys want to donate, check out the link below. Give us some money or don't. Keep
That's so
watching.
True. Also, if you care enough to go back in time, our last episode we did with Joe Katz, and it was a banger.
Yeah, I would argue it's probably the best episode we've done so far. We had some really good talk
best
about
one.
nostalgia.
It's the longest one.
Yeah, it's some good stuff.
Yeah. We're gonna have him back again, and we'll be having a guest next week too. But we'll obviously be here before next week. So,
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun. There's a lot of stuff moving, a lot of moving parts.
Yes, sir. Join us next time for Monday Night Raw and NXT. And then we have Money in the Bank coming up this weekend, so that's going to be crazy.
So much.
Lots of wrestling.
Just get a compilation of us being like, there's so much fucking wrestling.
It never ends.
It never ends. But you know what does end?
This episode.
Beep beep.